总台华语中心记者提问：日前，习近平主席向拉美和
Recently, President Xi Jinping sent a message of congratulations to the 9th summit of CELAC, noting that China-Latin America relations have entered a new stage that featuring equality, mutual benefits, innovation, openness, and benefits for the people. He also welcomed CELAC member states to attend the 4th ministerial meeting of the China-CELAC Forum. Can we share more information? Latin America and the Caribbean is an important part of the Global South, an active participant in and contributor to global governance. CELAC is an important platform for regional countries to strengthen solidarity and coordination in addressing global challenges. In July 2014, President Xi Jinping and leaders of LAC countries jointly announced the establishment of the China-CELAC Forum. The inaugural ministerial meeting of the forum was successfully held in Beijing in January 2015, marking the official launch of the forum. Over the past decade, the forum has flourished with increasingly mature mechanisms and has become a vital platform for enhancing political mutual trust, aligning development strategies, and promoting people-to-people connectivity between China and the LAC countries. It has played a positive role in bringing the China-Latin America relations into this new stage that featuring equality, mutual benefits, innovation, openness, and benefits for the people. As changes unseen in the century unfold at an unprecedented pace, and uncertainties, instabilities, and unpredictability in the world are notably increasing. The 4th ministerial meeting of the forum will enable the two sides to discuss development strategies, jointly address challenges, amplify the Global South collective voice for solidarity and self-reliance, and provide stability and positive energy for a world of turbulence. China and the LAC countries are actively advancing preparations for the meeting, and relevant information will be released in a timely manner. Please stay tuned. Next one, please.
Thank you. Question from AFP. President Donald Trump.
法新社特朗普总统对大多数国家取消关税，但是依然对中国加征了。中方对此有何回应？中方是否会进一步也对美国输华的产品加征关税？
美方出于利己之
Out of its selfish interests, the U.S. has used tariffs as a weapon to exert maximum pressure and seek selfish gains. This seriously infringes upon the legitimate rights and interests of countries, violates WTO rules, undermines the rules-based multilateral trading system, and destabilizes global economic order. This move is against the whole world. Taking necessary countermeasures to oppose the U.S. bullying moves is not only aimed at protecting our own sovereignty, security, and development interests, but also for safeguarding international fairness, justice, safeguarding the multilateral trading system, upholding the common interests of the international community. A just cause has the support of many. The U.S. move doesn't win the support of the people and will end in failure. Let me stress that tariff wars and trade wars have no winners. China does not want to fight them, but will not fear when they come our way. We will not sit by and let the legitimate rights and interests of the Chinese people be deprived of, and we will not sit by and let the international trade rules and multilateral trading system be undermined. If the U.S. is determined to fight a tariff and trade war, China's response will continue to the end. The U.S. has put its own interests over the public interests of the international community. It has served its hegemonic interests at the expense of the legitimate interests of the whole world. This will meet with stronger opposition from the international community. Next question, please.
Thank you. Another one from AFP. President.
泽连斯基总统表示，乌克兰掌握了150多名中国公民参加俄军在乌克兰作战的具体信息。那么中方是否认为泽连斯基是在撒谎，或者是信息有误？
危机的。
Let me reiterate that China did not stop the Ukraine crisis. We are not the party to it. We firmly support and have actively promoted the peaceful settlement of the crisis. The Chinese government always asks Chinese nationals to stay away from areas of armed conflict, avoid any form of involvement in armed conflict, and in particular, avoid participation in any party's military operations. We call on relevant party to be right and sober about China's role and refrain from making irresponsible remarks. Next one, please.
Question for the agency. About the tariff issue, U.S. President Donald Trump said China wants to have a...
特朗普总统称，中国想要和美方达成协议，但他们不知道如何去做。这句话是什么意思呢？中美是否就此进行了接触？
美方仍在对中国滥施关税。
The U.S. is still abusing tariffs on China. China firmly rejects and will not accept such hegemonic and bullying moves. Pressuring, threatening, and extorting China is not the right way to deal with us. If the U.S. really wants to talk, it should show an attitude of equality, respect, and mutual benefit. If the U.S. decides not to care about the interests of China, the U.S., and the international community, and is determined to fight a tariff and trade war, China's response will continue to the end. Next question, please.
谢发言人澎湃新闻记者提问：3月28日缅甸地震以来，中方全力协助缅方开展救援工作，得到缅甸民众。
After the earthquake in Myanmar, China has made all-out efforts to help the country and is highly commended by the people in Myanmar and the international community. Can you share more information with us? After the earthquake, China's rescue forces have come to the aid within the shortest time to save lives. China was the first country to announce humanitarian assistance to Myanmar, the first to send rescue teams to Myanmar, and China saved the first survivor in Myanmar and is the first country to set up a settlement center in the earthquake-stricken area. Over 30 rescue teams and over 600 rescue members went to Myanmar and provided multi-batches of emergency humanitarian disaster relief supplies. This displays China's speed, effectiveness, and warmth. It is warmly welcomed and commended by the people in Myanmar. Now the work in Myanmar has transitioned to epidemic prevention and rebuilding. As a friendly neighbor and Pokpo brother, China decided to provide a new batch of humanitarian supplies that includes much needed supplies that covers refined oil, boardroom, operation room, medicine, and vaccine. We will also send medical teams for treatment, saving lives, and disinfection of relevant areas. We will also send experts for inspection, assessment, and restoration of buildings and cultural relics. A merciless disaster brings out the best of humanity. China will continue to carry forward the spirit of Pokpo friendship, act in the spirit of China-Myanmar community with a shared future, and help the people in Myanmar to overcome the difficulty and rebuild their homes. Next one, please.
FA News Agency. What's China's response?
爱飞社 美国财长贝森特说，西班牙和中国走得更近，无异于割自己的喉咙。中方对此有何回应？ Speaking of cutting the throat, the U.S. threat and blackmail against the rest of the world with tariffs is a real attempt to hold by the throat of other countries and coerce them into making a compromise or concessions. The relations between China and Spain make an integral part of the relations between China and the EU. Last year, the total trade between our two countries topped $50 billion, and Spain's exports to China grew by 4.3%. In recent years, our bilateral cooperation on the new energy industry has boosted green and low-carbon development. We maintain communication in multilateral cooperation and jointly uphold the UN-centered international system and the multilateral trading system with WTO at its core. As the friendly ties between China and other countries do, the cooperation between China and Spain always serves as a driving force for both countries' economic growth and delivers tangibly for the two peoples and contributes to world stability and development. Next one, please. President 泽连斯基提到，155名中国公民加入了俄方的军队。中方是否在核实这个数字？泽连斯基还称，这显示俄方希望将中国卷入战争之中。你对此有何回应？
关于你提到的。
On your first question, I have nothing to share. Let me stress that China's position on the Ukraine crisis is objective and fair. We are committed to promoting a ceasefire and talks for peace. This is very clear to the international community. Next question, please.
Thank you, FP again. China has reminded its nationals to make a full assessment of the risks.
中国提醒中国公民在赴美之前做出清晰的准备和分析。那么，中方发布这个提醒是为了提醒中国公民有什么样的风险呢？
情况是。
What you said is because the U.S. is exerting maximum pressure on China. This has worsened the foundation and the public opinion of the two countries and disrupted exchanges and cooperation between the two countries. China will take resolute measures to uphold our legitimate and lawful rights and interests. Next one, please.
还有其他问题吗？
Any more questions?
Question from Reuters again on the tariffs. I wanted to confirm again, are negotiations between China
您能否确认中美双方是否正在就关税问题进行谈判？
我刚才已经回答了这个问题。
I answered this question just now. The U.S. is still abusing tariffs on China. China firmly rejects and will not accept such bullying and hegemonic move. Pressuring, threatening, and extorting China is not the right way to deal with us. If the U.S. truly wants talks, it should show an attitude of equality, respect, and mutual benefit. If the U.S. is bent on waging the tariff and trade war, China's response will continue to the end.
Reuters, Trump has signed an executive order that levies.
特朗普签订了行政命令，继续对中国有关的船只收费，这是为了重振美国造船业。你对此有何回应？
The development of China's shipbuilding industry is a result of companies' tech innovation and active participation in market competition, which greatly contributes to global trade and the stable and secure operation of the global industrial and supply chains. Various U.S. studies show that the U.S. shipbuilding industry lost its competitive advantage many years ago due to overprotection. Blaming the U.S.'s own industrial woes on China lacks factual basis and economic common sense. The U.S.'s domineering practice of unilateralism and protectionism will find no support, but will only push up global maritime shipping costs, destabilize the global supply chains, harm the interests of all countries, and ultimately fail to revitalize the U.S. shipbuilding industry. Next question, please.
还有其他问题吗？
Any more questions?
发言人您好，据我所知
As I understand, President Xi Jinping will start his visit to Vietnam, Malaysia, and Cambodia from next week. Under such a turbulent international circumstances, what is the target objective of President Xi's trip, and will Vietnam and China sign any cooperation deal?
China and Southeast Asian countries, including Vietnam, are good neighbors connected by mountains and share people-to-people bond. We are also good partners that have integrated interests and a shared future. As for the specific visit you mentioned, I have no information to share at the moment. Please stay tuned. Next one, please.
还有其他问题吗？
Any more questions?
好，那今天的记者会。
That's the end of today's press conference. Thank you for coming.